It's been a year now since I had my surgery, and I thought I should record and share my experience from this last 1 year. Now, over the time, I have shared a few videos related to that, and sometimes I have shared my personal life more than I should have. But I always wanted to be honest, giving the true picture of how the experience and journey from a patient's point of view. So basically, I was thinking about someone who is or going to be in the same journey and can relate or expect what the journey is about. Now, I had my surgery on 29th of February last year, but actually my journey started a few months before that. I believe it was November 28th of 2023 when in the morning my doctor called me to give me the update about my stress test. Lot of regurgitation. I have a bicuspid aortic valve, lot of stenosis. The leaflet is calcified. My aorta is dilated, and the list was going on. And finally said is that I need to replace my valve, and it is going to be a open heart surgery. That is the day my life changed forever. Now, anyone who has gone through this experience knows very well how nerve-wracking this news can be. And on top, doctor gave me a lot of medication to prevent any complication until the surgery is done, and which gave me a lot of side effects. So I was emotionally and physically really devastated. It was not an easy period, and it took some time for me to understand and accept it. And then it was all about scheduling many appointments for different kind of tests, finding a cardiologist, finding the surgeons, and deciding on which valve I am going to have. And deciding the valve I am going to have was one of the difficult decision, because there are only two types of valves available, biological and mechanical, and both has its own pros and cons. And also selecting the surgeon was another big decision, because I have to trust that guy with my life, and that is literally true. Doing all these things took about 3 months, and finally I got my appointment on 29th of February last year for the surgery.
For now, you're scheduled for 7 a.m. and your check-in time is 5 a.m. But we'll let you know if that changes. Well, all the positive vibes, you're in good hands, and we'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
All right.
So my surgery took about 9 hours, which is very long. And because of that, it took very long time for me to get stable and get my consciousness back. So the next day I was mostly sleepy. There was some pain, but they gave lot of pain medication, so it was manageable. But on day 2, one nurse came to clean myself. While cleaning, he moved the chest tube little bit, and the end part of the tube, which is going next to the heart, moved, and it was touching either heart or lung, but that was giving so much pain, and pain was so intolerable that I was not able to breathe after that, because every breath was giving so much pain. And from that time until the tube was removed, I was only breathing a small amount of air to avoid any additional pain, and that was one of the bad experience. So the time chest tube was removed, everything became much easier, and my recovery was very steady and smooth. And on day 6th I was released from the hospital. So after coming home, the first week or two, there was some challenges, like getting in and out of the bed, or taking shower, or doing anything which need the upper body's help. But other than that, the first month or two, the progress was very encouraging, because every day I was making a lot of progress, achieving some new goals. So this is day 2 after coming back from hospital, and I'm trying to make my own sandwich, because as quickly as possible I like to go back to my previous stage, and doing things which was not possible the day before. So it was very exciting and very encouraging.
So today is March 21st, 3 weeks from my surgery, and I'm supposed to start my work today. I'm not really ready mentally or maybe even physically, but I have to do. I guess that is life.
And I started my work on week 3 and started my cardiac rehab just before 1 month. So after a month and a half or maybe 2 months, there was not much to make any progress. It is all about maintaining, doing and repeating the same task again and again, day after day. So at that time, what was there back in my mind started to kick in, and it took some emotional toll, kind of like a depression, because a lot of physical challenges are still there. Worry about the future. There are limitations. Feeling dizzy most of the time, feeling tired. Some kind of pain is always there. Not able to sleep at night, and restriction in food, lifting weight. Also still I have the bicuspid aortic valve, which will fail at one point for sure, and also the bypass, which is only last for 10 years in average. So there are many things to worry about, and all those thoughts are going to be in mind, and it is going to create some kind of depression. In fact, depression is not uncommon for people who are having this kind of surgery. And my doctor was repeatedly asking me if I want to go for a therapist. So on month 2, the day I completed 2 months, I went for a small run to see if I can run again, and I found that running become much easier. So I thought I should take that as an opportunity to deal with my depression, because I have always loved running, and also I was planning to run a marathon with my wife for sometimes, and since I can run again, so I took that as an opportunity and signed up for the half marathon. I got the permission from my cardiologist, and she said is that I should be ready to run half marathon in 6 months. So I just registered for the half marathon, and that really helped me because I had new goal, achieving new milestone every day, and looking forward to run the marathon. Even though running may not be safe after this kind of surgery because of the dizziness and blackout, but what I found is that if I run in a comfortable pace and don't do anything sudden, then running can be safe. So I ran my half marathon on 5th of October, 7 months after my surgery, and that was a very hot day, over 100 degree Fahrenheit. So I think I did very well, and that also proves that physically I am fit, and my heart and lung is working well. And also hospital did a 6 months post-op MRI test, and based on the result, all looks good. So after the marathon, the winter came and days become very short and gloomy. So my running, walking and exercise is reduced a lot, and that's a problem because I need to run and walk every day, multiple rounds, to reduce my stress level and maintain my blood pressure. And I started getting many problems because I was not able to do much, and also I started getting a lot of pain this area, maybe because of the cold winter. One of the pending tasks I had was visiting my family, my parents, and which is halfway across the globe, and I was not sure what to expect from the flight, which is 23 hours long, but everything went very well. One interesting thing is that I always had problem with the long flight. I used to feel suffocated, not able to eat anything because I was feeling throwing up all the time, and this time I had no problem at all. So the conclusion I came up with is that because earlier I had severe regurgitation, only 37% of the blood was going to the body, and in the flight when the oxygen level is even low, body was getting even less amount of oxygen. As a result, all those problems was happening. but because after the surgery it is fixed, I don't have that problem anymore. In fact, I enjoyed the flight, which means that the surgery actually worked. So how am I really doing? So on paper everything looks good. All the test results are normal. On month 6 the hospital did one MRI test, which looks all good inside. I did some physical checkup also a few months back. All the reports looks perfect, but I am getting a lot of different kind of pain in this area, and it's not one location, it's all different location and different type of pains. Sometimes it is chest heaviness, sometimes it is sharp pain, sometimes it feels like lot of needles poking here and there, and sometimes it feels like arrhythmia, and also my blood pressure suddenly goes high and then come back to normal. Also, I cannot sleep on my side more than few minutes, because if I fall in sleep on my side, I have to wake up after few minutes with lot of pain. So it is better for me to sleep on my back to have a longer sleep. And the numbness I have here, I don't think it is improving, but that doesn't bother me much because I don't really go and touch there. And the cut mark, the incision, that area is very sensitive. In fact, I cannot press and move my finger because it feels like a burning sensation. It is very strong. Again, I am not too worried about that because I am not going to press and move my finger over there. But sometimes if I put a jacket which has a front zipper, and let's say that one bended and touching and pressing there, that creates a weird feeling. But this cut mark is very sensitive, and that may be too much information to share, so please ignore me. And also doctor cannot do anything really because based on the report all looks good, so doctor really don't know what to do with that. But what doctor said is that if I take Tylenols, which is a mild painkiller, that should take care most of the pain, but of course I don't want to take it. So I'm getting occasional arrhythmia and high blood pressure kind of things every day, and it is coming regularly. And at that time I feel a lot of heaviness inside my chest and my blood pressure really goes high, and it is coming almost regularly at the same time around 10:30 to 12 o'clock, and I believe it is coming from the stress, and my blood pressure at that point is really high. So if I go for a walk and after maybe an hour or so it comes down and everything become normal again. So I was concerned and my cardiologist decided to put a 24 hours blood pressure monitoring device which will be there for 24 hours, and also based on the Apple Watch is showing that I am getting some kind of AFib event every day, but doctor thinks that it is not something too serious, but we need to figure out what is going on, and based on that she has to change the medication. Now the cardiologist visit I had was 3 weeks back, and based on the discussion there, doctor said is that I should be able to stop my blood thinner, because type of surgery I had after 1 year, it is possible to stop blood thinner. Now there is a possibility of blood clot, stroke or thrombosis by stopping blood thinner after 1 year of having it, and that was in my mind. And then last week suddenly I passed out because of a blackout, and then I was on the floor for about 2 minutes unconscious. My wife and daughter got really scared because I was on the floor, my eyes actually rolled up. I urinated on the floor. Too much details again, I know. So obviously I thought the reason could be is there some kind of blood clot and stroke, and I ended up in the hospital emergency room. After doing all kind of tests in the hospital, they could not see any blood clot, or they don't know the reason for the blackout. But based on my Apple Watch at that moment, my heart rate was below 40 beat per minute, which may be very low for me, and reason could be because of that. Now I have this device here which will be here for 2 weeks, and that one is going to detect any kind of abnormal activities going on inside the heart, and based on that it should tell me that if there are any arrhythmia or anything is going on. Let's see what happens. So what I realized from my experience is that after the surgery there will be a lot of physical limitation, pain, and challenges for most of the patients, and there will be continuous worry about the future based on type of surgery. So for me, I still have the bicuspid aortic valve, which can fail eventually. Also my aorta was replaced, so because of that I have a lot of limitation. I cannot lift weight more than 30 pounds, which is 13 kg, and bypass also usually fail in 10 years. Small things like that really make me anxious, like driving in the traffic or doing the same things repeatedly for a long time suddenly brings all kind of stress, and life is not that easy. I cannot really stop even though I don't want to do that. So all those things are going on, and they are back in my mind. Like on top of it I have the weakness, the dizziness, the restriction in food. All are small things, but they are there in my mind, and they are creating some kind of frustration silently, unknowingly, and unfairly. I'm taking all my frustration out to my family, my wife and my daughter, and they are quietly accepting it because they don't want to add any more stress for me. So a year has passed. For me it's a new year now, and my resolution for this year is that I need to move on from this surgery, and I need to think and feel like normal again, like nothing has happened. And most importantly, I need to find a way to manage my stress, and no matter what, never take it out on others, especially for my wife and daughter, because they already been through a lot. That is all for today. Take care and see you soon.